conversation about what it takes to build generational wealth in communities of color, and we are breaking that generational poverty. All right. So I am your crazy, sexy fool, Miss Marilyn J. But before I get started, it's not about me. I want to know about the people who are here and present today, and I want to find out a little bit more about you. So I want to take a few minutes for everyone to tell me your name, your location, and your area of expertise. Now, I'm going to give you about 30 seconds at most to do this. And if you're wondering how long is 30 seconds, not long. So that means be quick. So would anyone like to start off by volunteering their selves and telling us again your name, your location, and your area of expertise?
Yeah, I'll tell you mine.
Go for
You
it.
ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. My name is James Ridley. I reside in the wonderful world of Tampa, Florida, Super Bowl champions. I am a senior consultant with a healthcare company. I help companies, physicians, healthcare individuals, or professionals optimize and negotiate their contracts through claims. And in optimizing that, I help them get results in terms of profitability. My background is also in the investment business. I spent some time at some giants like UBS, Morgan Stanley. So I'm no stranger to wealth creation, as I've helped a number of clients accomplish that very goal. And I appreciate you having me here today.
Thank you, James. I am so glad you joined us today and shared a little bit with us about yourself. Next, Xavier. Let us know a little bit about you, sir.
Hey,
Name, location, your area of expertise.
I'm Xavier, a teenager from Nashville, and my area of expertise is, I guess, being a young person and like the young person experience.
All right. Well, our young people are crucial because our young people are the future, and you're just the kind of person who we want to see here today to make to make an impact in the future. So thank you so much for joining us today, Xavier. So next, I want to share with you guys a little bit about the agenda, let you know what you can expect from us today. There we go. Y'all see that? I got little magical people behind the scene that work for me. I love them so much. So the agenda today, points for discussion will be, we just covered who you are. We're going to be getting into who we are. That is the Minority Mastermind, a little bit about that. And also the presentation that we're going to be giving you today on our conversation. And we're going to finish up with a little question and answer session upon the end of this presentation today. So definitely stay tuned. So the Minority Mastermind is actually brought to you by the Feel Rich Group. Who is the Feel Rich Group? The Feel Rich Group is a boutique consulting agency. They offer creative solutions to the conscious professionals and entrepreneurs. Now, the Feel Rich Company is actually the presenter of the Minority Mastermind. The Minority Mastermind is our social impact side of the Feel Rich Group. And ultimately, the goal of the Minority Mastermind is to empower, educate, and equip you with the tools you need to be successful. So I need to know who out there is about leveling up right now. Who out there is on that glow up? Who's on that blow up? All right. And if that is the case, you are absolutely in the right place. That is about what we're doing within your life, around your life, and ultimately in the setting around you. All right. So you're definitely in the right place at the right time. So thank you, guys. Now, again, I told y'all I am Miss Marilyn J. I am your crazy, sexy fool, which is a little bit about me. I am actually here today by way of Memphis, Tennessee. I am a native of Nashville, Tennessee. A lot of you guys might know it as Cashville. Y'all might know it as the country music capital of the world. I actually reside in Tampa Bay, and James touched on that. We're not Tampa Bay. Right now, we Champa Bay. All right, y'all get that right. What you know about that Champa Bay, okay? Because we winning over here. We winning right here today, to be exact. But again, a little bit about my background. You know, I've been called a lot of things in my life. I've been called the property manager. I've been called the rent lady. But ultimately, I am a beacon of light. One thing that is important in my life is intellect, the brain, the power of what we have within ourselves, and the power of what we can create and do when we work together, when we're focused, when we're being positive. And today, here, it's all about transformation. So, again, glad to have you guys and glad to be hosting for you. So, again, my story, I mentioned to you guys that I'm originally from Nashville, Tennessee. Again, it's known as the country music capital of the world. Some people even call it Cashville. But an interesting fact about exactly where I came from, I grew up in an area code you see there on the screen, 37208. And let me tell you, I'm glad I made it out of there. I'm ecstatic I made it out of there because unfortunately, one of the statistics about my community is pretty much there's a pipeline to prison. And if you're not on that pipeline to prison, you might be on that gravy train to the grave. All right. There's a lot of disparity in the area where I came from. And I was determined that was not going to be me. That was not going to be anybody in my life and anybody whom I was able to touch or influence. That's the reason that we have created what we've created. That's the reason that we're having this conversation today. Again, it's about transformation and it is about change. So if you are interested in shifting your paradigm for the future, you got it, because baby, we're shifting the paradigm in color, okay? And we're making it happen here. So again, the Minority Mastermind is founded by myself and the other founder is Mimi the Motivator. Now, Mimi the Motivator, she's your favorite motivator, all right? And she is an amazing person. She has a huge mind, a bigger heart, and simply just a spirit and a goal and ambition to simply change people, transform them, make them better. And we're utilizing all kinds of tools and resources to do that. So today, presenting for you guys is she's one of my best friends, all right, and such a wonderful person in my life. So without further ado, I'm going to pass the torch over to your favorite motivator, Mimi the Motivator.
Let's everybody give her a round of applause. That was good. Thank you so very much for sharing and introducing me. Thank you so much. So today we're going to talk about a few different things. First of all, I want to talk about what I consider the 10 essentials of being wealthy, because there's a difference between wealthy people and broke people. And to tell you a little bit about my background, as she mentioned the zip code, I was raised in that same zip code, 37208, but I also lived in Tampa, Florida as well. I grew up in two cities my entire life. And in those two different cities, I lived two different lifestyles. In Nashville, I lived the kind of lifestyle where you never knew where you were going to live, where you were going to eat, where you were going to sleep, any of those kind of things. And then in Tampa, Florida, we had moved up to middle class. You know, we lived in Carrollwood, if you're familiar with that area. You know, my dad is probably now on his third house with a pool in the backyard. You know, but it was a totally different lifestyle. And one thing that I really wanted to figure out was, what was the difference between my parents? Because they both came from very humble beginnings. My dad is literally the product of a pimp and a hoe. No joke. My grandfather was locked up my entire life for shooting another pimp. Real story. So, but my mom, she grew up in Columbus, Ohio. Humble background, but not as tough as my dad's. But when they got grown, they went two totally different directions. So about 15 plus years ago, I decided to just do nothing but read books and figure out what was the difference between wealthy people and poor people. And the one thing that I definitely discovered was the mindset. So let's talk about some of those differences. I'm going to ask you a few questions, and I want to see where you are on this little mindset. So first of all, I want to know how many of you currently have a mentor. So either you raise a hand or put something in the chat box to let me know if you have a mentor currently or if you had a mentor before. Yes. Okay. Good stuff. The reason that a mentor is so important is because a mentor can take 5 to 10 years off of your learning curve. And if anybody has ever heard of what an overnight success really requires, it takes about that time, for an overnight success to happen. It takes 10,000 hours for someone to become an expert. But if you are aligned with an expert who can tell you what they've done, what worked, what did not work, what to stay away from, all those things, that can transform your life and make your learning curve this short. A next question I want to know: how many of you have a savings account with something in it? Good stuff, good stuff. You know, statistics say that most people do not have anything in savings. Some people have about maybe $1,000 in savings or more, but 35% of the American population have a big goose egg. That's nuts. We have to have something in savings. We have to have something to fall back on. Yes, we have to have savings. I'm so glad to see so many of you do have savings. That's phenomenal. The next thing I want to do is a little more challenging. How many of you live on 70% of your income? Looking like, crickets, crickets. I see somebody thinking. Yes, so the thing is, I got this idea from Warren Buffett. I'm sure you've heard of this guy. I'm gonna tell you, I used to hear his name but didn't know who he was and was like, what's the big deal about this guy? And then I watched the movie, The Making of Warren Buffett, and I learned what the big deal was. But Warren Buffett suggests that we live on 70% of our income. That means 10% immediately. Pay me first. Don't go pay bills first, pay me first. I work for the money. So 10% goes to me. 10% goes to savings. And then 10% can go to charity. And what you do with your portion is usually where you can go invest into something to grow your money. I'm going to tell you something. I have a degree in mathematics. I went to graduate school, and nowhere in there did anybody teach me how to make money, what to do with my money once I made it, and how to make my money make money. As a matter of fact, when I was working on my MBA, I was homeless. Crazy, right? I was thinking like, they told me I was the smart kid. They said that was the way out of the hood. I was homeless. What that told me is that formal education did not empower me except for to be broke, to be in debt. Can anybody relate to that? Anybody got some student loan debt? I know I got plenty of it. Okay, I went to a private school. It might have been a school this small, but they charged me very well. And I'm still paying on it. I think I'm going to be paying on this stuff for the rest of my life. So is that really the smart decision? Who knows? Who really even knows? Another question. Do you surround yourself with people who do what you've been doing all your life? Do you surround yourself with people who are doing what you're doing now and working towards things? Or do you hang around people who are doing the things that you want to do when you grow up? Numbers say that we are an average of the 5 people that we spend the most time with. So just for a moment, I want you to consider, who are the top 5 people? Now, these top 5 people may not be in the physical. I know mine are not, because I couldn't find the right people to hang out with. So I found myself in virtual world on YouTube, and I spent time with Abraham Hicks. I spent time with Napoleon Hill, sometimes maybe T.D. Jakes or Dr. Miles Monroe, Bob Proctor. You know, I spend time with some people who are doing the kind of things that I would like to do when I grow up. So that way they can influence me. I don't want to be the smartest person in the room. I'm not trying to be the strongest link in the chain. I am perfectly fine being the weakest link in the chain, because if I got a strong link on this side and a strong link on this side, what does that mean? I'm going to be held up. I'm going to be good, baby, no matter what. So if you are the smartest person in your circle, baby, you're in the wrong circle. If you're the strongest person, the most creative person, you're in the wrong circle. It's time to move to a new circle, create a new circle. Ain't no sense in being the big fish in a little pond. It serves you none. Put yourself in a bigger pond, you can grow even more. So I want to challenge you to consider your 5 and maybe even replacing at least one of those people on that list. And it's nothing personal, except for I have a shirt that says, don't take this personal. It's personal, because this is just really about being you and doing what you need to do for you. I've lived in 2 states my entire life. So I've been flying on an airplane by myself since I was 4 years old. And I get the same lesson. And at this point, I fly at least once a month somewhere. I was just in 5 cities within the last 2 weeks. And I get the same lesson every single time. In the case of an emergency, when the airbag drops down, please put your air mask on first before you attempt to help someone with theirs. Okay? I feel like it's the universe always talking to me. Get yourself together first so you can help people more. So I literally had to remove myself from society for a little while. I was kind of like living like a monk in just quiet and Zen mode, meditating. But it was because I knew that I needed to shift my paradigm. I know that I needed to change my programming because I wanted to be wealthy. And I knew what the wealthy people were doing, but I didn't know why was I not able to do the same. So let me ask you another question. When stuff doesn't go your way, do you get upset? See, the thing is, poor people or the broke mindset see challenges, see obstacles, problems, issues. Wealthy people, they see opportunity. Do you know the most millionaires are made every time we have a recession? Because it's opportunity. Everybody's panicking, selling their stocks. That means it's time to buy them. Everybody's panicking and selling their properties. It's time to buy them. Now, I am not a pro in that department, and I won't speak on those areas. I got pros to come talk to you in those areas. But what I do know is that we have to make decisions like the wealthy if we want to be wealthy. And we have to identify our problems as opportunities, whether it's an opportunity to be better, to be smarter, to grow stronger. What I feel like is if I encounter a problem on this level, it ain't going to be nothing when I encounter it on this level if I conquered it on this level. So that's why sometimes you wonder, why do I get this same experience again? I went through this before. Why am I always going through the same lessons? Honey, I'm a mathematician. Algebra was from the beginning. 1 + 1 = 2. Then they ask you 1 + what = 2. Then it was 1 + x = 2. And then I started solving problems that took me 10 pages to explain, but it was all the same. But it's because you're now, close your eyes for a second. And I want you to imagine a spiral staircase. And I want you to keep going up the spiral staircase and look down in the middle. And let's pretend there is a large plant sitting there. Now, this plant is big. So when you first start going up this staircase, the plant is taller than you. Now, as you continue going up the staircase, now you are above the leaves. Now you continue going up the staircase. Now you're looking down at the plant, still the same plant that once looked really big. You keep going up that stairwell, soon you don't see anything but a little green dot. Open your eyes. This is why we're going through the same different things. We're going through it, but at a different level each time. So when you find yourself going through the same thing over and over, be open to it and see, has your perspective shifted? Okay, let me give me a little water. So there are a multitude of differences between the wealthy and the poor, and I can go on and on and on. I have a long list that I've been accumulating for years because I have been researching this for a very, very long time because I am determined. I'm determined to become a billionaire, and I am determined to produce other billionaires. I think that's how I'm gonna become a billionaire, is making other people billionaires. I think that what I learned at this meeting one time is that there's giver's gain. Anybody know about, familiar with giver's gain? You gain when you give. So many people who are in business are wanting to just take from clients, almost like a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Hello, meet you, shake your hand and give me some money. That's not how it works. You want to build relationships. You want to build relationships with yourself. Wealthy people have relationships. and they leverage those relationships. Not just, I'm doing bad this month, can you help me out? That's not leveraging a relationship. Leveraging a relationship is seeing what are your strengths and what are other people's strengths? What are we all doing and how can we contribute to each other? How can we become a mastermind? How can we become a web that can hold us all up, a chain? Otherwise, we all could just be separate links out here. But what happens when we all connect together? Because that's what wealthy people do. They connect dots. What dots can you connect in your life? What things can you link together? Who can you link with? How can you grow what you're doing? How can you grow your influence? How can you give more? Because in that giving, you will gain. It's just how the universe works. The universe has this give and receive type of thing. It happens simultaneously. As soon as you give, you receive. And you may not receive from the person you gave or from the entity you gave, but you are going to get it back. It's how the universal laws work. So I want to talk about what I can do, or what we as an organization can do to help you shift your mindset to wealthy. Even if you're somebody that's already making like, $50,000, $70,000, you're like, look, I got a couple dollars, I'm not struggling. But what if we could assist you in busting that 6-figure mark? Or what if you're already making about 100,000, but you want to be a little higher? Let's talk about some things. I'm going to share my screen, so let me know if you can see it. That's me. All right. Can everybody see my screen? Somebody say something, say yay, nay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So today we're going to talk about paradigm shifting in color. So did you know that about now, the median income for Black people is $45,000, which is pretty good. That's not really hurting, which tells me that we're making money these days, right? We're making money and we're spending money. Unfortunately, not with ourselves. See, I don't know if you know this little small secret. Lean in a little bit. Integration hurt us. Integration hurt our pockets. Before integration, we shopped at our own shops. We ate at our own restaurants. But as soon as they unleashed the gates and said that we can go sit at other people's counters, we no longer spent our money with us anymore. Look at the difference in how money is spent in the communities. They say our dollar stays in our community 6 hours. Some people say it's a myth, but we do know that it only stays in within the first day or so, or it only circulates maybe one time. And that's a maybe. White people, I think it's about 14 days. Jewish people, about 19 days. Asian people, 28 days. And we wonder why their economics seem to look a little more attractive than ours. Something to think about, huh? This is how we spend our money. This list right here shows where we disproportionately spend. We only make up 14% of the American population. And these are the areas where we spend more than 14% of our share. Look at the top one, Jesus Christ. We so worried about how we look, bless our hearts. Have you ever seen a wealthy person and they look like SHIT? They got on flip-flops, or either they got on some penny loafers with some gym shorts, a t-shirt, and who knows what hair all over their head. But a pocket full of money, pocket full of plastic money, pocket full of credit lines. What are we doing with our money? They say it's not about how much money we make, but it's how much that we keep that's important. So it's time for a paradigm shift. You've probably seen and heard this word a couple times now at this point. What is a paradigm? A paradigm is your program. An acorn has a program. Usually when I talk about an acorn, I'm talking about the power of an acorn. There's a power for an acorn to become a whole forest. But have you ever thought about how that's possible? That acorn is programmed to become a tree. There's programming in you as well to become who you became as an adult. If you didn't know, our minds as a child, from the years of up to 7 years old, our minds are in a state of theta, which is the same thing if we were under hypnosis. So anything that you experienced the first 7 years of your life, and maybe even before you came out of the womb, has determined who you are as an adult. That was your main programming. From that, you have the programming of school, religion, your friends, TV, social media these days. How many of you have children? Show of hands. And even if you don't have children, you probably have experienced children. And have you ever had this happen? Your child does something that completely knows that they know that that is wrong. So you're like, well, little Mimi, why did you do that? And she's like, I don't know. And you're like, but you know better. And you're like, I know. And you're like, well, why did you do that? I don't know. I found myself as an adult. I'm telling Miss Marilyn J something, and she's like, why did you do that? And I'm like, I don't know. She was like, you know better. I'm like, I know. Well, why did you do it? I don't know. It's my paradigm. How was I a mathematician in graduate school and homeless because it was my paradigm. It was my programming. It wasn't my first time being homeless. I had been homeless a couple times as a kid. And I've been homeless a couple times more since then because it was part of my programming. The reason we do some things that we don't know why we do them is because there is a program inside of our mind that a lot of times we're battling against. The reason that I live my life by design now and I'm on a plane and living out of a suitcase and being wherever I want to be, I had 2 funerals within 1 week's time on 2 different sides of the family. And I was able to go to both of them. But that's because I have created my life to be so. I found a little piece of paper the other day from me reading the book, Think and Grow Rich. And it said what I wanted to do in exchange for my money was to teach the truth and so that way I could travel the world and spend time with my family. And it's exactly what I do. Anybody who knows me in real life, they know I spend about 6 months out of the year at the grandparents' house. But it's because I've created that with my mind. Your paradigm is in your mind. So the Minority Mastermind has created something that we feel like is a solution to that. The Minority Mastermind is an opportunity. It is a resource and a solution. It's an opportunity for the people who already have been there, done that, and they have something to give. That's, hey, here's a spot for you. We can use you. It is a resource for people like me and like you, and for people who look like us. It's a space where we can get that personal and professional development, you know, that Tony Robbins stuff, but not at that Tony Robbins price. It's coaching. It's different multitudes of events like this, like Black Coffee Talk Tuesday, where we're just having informal conversation. It's us putting our minds together to figure out, how do we change our entire culture? Not just my life, not just change my family tree, but my entire cultural landscape. How does that happen? What we have is mindset training. It includes mental, physical, spiritual, and financial. I'm a firm believer in ancient technology. It is how I start my day. You're thinking like, what is ancient technology? It is the old practices that go back from way, way back when, before religion even began. And it is the thing that is in every single religion. We are talking about doing stuff to change our physiology, changing some of the things that we eat, eating a few more things of this and a little less of that. Not saying don't eat this, don't eat that, eat this only, nothing like that. But more introducing you to what type of eating can condition your mind to do the type of things that you want to do. This is a be, do, have model. Because whatever it is that you want to have, you have to do the things that those kind of people do to have those kind of things. Have you ever started a new diet plan or started some kind of new just routine and it didn't last long? It's because you didn't change who you are. We have to change who we are. When we change who we are, we change what we do, and it changes what we have. So no matter what you have now, it can be increased mentally, physically, spiritually, and definitely financially. That comes from when you have the other pillars in place. We're going to do some emotional intelligence. We're going to work on your mind, your body, and your spirit. So that way you are fortified for financial freedom. Because what good would it do for to have a lot of money in the bank, but you in the bed sick? Or you just angry and nobody wants to be around you because you're a Scrooge. I know a man like that. This man has everything he possibly can need. The only thing he does is buy cars and then complain about the car and go buy another Mercedes and then buy a Lexus Jeep to park next to it and then complain because his garage is full now. Miserable. Who wants to be miserable with money? That sucks. You can be happy with money. Abundance is not just money. Abundance is happiness. Abundance is being around the type of people who make you feel good and you make them feel good. See, a lot of programs out there, they tell you how to make money. But we all have heard the story that if they separated all the money in the world and gave everybody an equal share, all that money would end up back in the same places. And it's because of the mindset, not knowing what you don't know. You know what you know, and there's some things you know you don't know, but you don't know what you don't really know. You don't know what's keeping you from your greatest success. And we've created a program to help you identify that, to remove those mind, body, and spirit blocks, so that way you can live your best life. You can live the life that you truly deserve, the one you really desire. So in this program, we have all kind of stuff. We got all kind of free resources for you that we're just going to point you to. Everything we don't need to charge for because we're not paying for it and we're not trying to make money off of people. We're trying to make impact. And all we're doing is passing the cost of what it is for us to create this on to whoever participates, because it takes a village to make this happen. So here is a testimony from one of my clients. Let's see if we can get that to go. Of course, it's not going to work for me today, huh? Is that what's going on? Let's see. I'm going to try something. Let's see if this works for us.
Hello, everyone. My name is Victoria Davis. I am currently in Richmond, Virginia, and I met Mimi, the Motivator, through her cousin, which is one of my dear friends in the same program as me. I'm literally in the car, just listened to Mimi's message, but I love her so much, I had to stop exactly what I was doing to give this video, okay? I would definitely have to say, I started working with Mimi back in like March or April. And it is so crazy. It's like at first, like I was making these little baby steps, these baby strides, and I still am. But like when you see the work that you've done like 3-4 months ago, like really just come back full circle to the present moment, it's such a beautiful feeling. And that is definitely what my life has been looking like over these past couple of months since I started working with Mimi. Everything that we discuss, everything that she tells me to look out for, everything that she places into my awareness to be more conscious of, and to really like strive and change with intention, it is all coming back 100% full circle, really 120%, honestly, because I see things around me changing, like who I want to hang out with, who I want to expel my energy to, what I like to do with my time. I like being by myself a lot more nowadays than with people. And I think that also just comes from like knowing what somebody brings to the table and what you bring to the table. And if those things don't align, sometimes you just gotta cut cords. But yeah, Mimi, like literally on our last session last week, I cried because I was just so overjoyed with emotion and having these happy tears, because it's like I have this constant reminder every week that we talk that I'm doing okay. I'm becoming 1% better every single day. And it has just outpoured in my life in various areas. And I cannot wait to see what comes in 2021 with Victoria motherfucking Davis having Mimi the motivator on my shoulder right here. Yes. Love you, Mimi.
So Victoria is an amazing client, is what I'll say first and foremost, because she immediately applies the things, not every single thing, but she has applied a lot of the stuff that we have done. We have done a deep dive session. Since I've worked with her, she has now started a business. In that business, it's an online business. She made $1,000 in the first 30 days or less. She got featured and highlighted by influencers, by some lady named Tabitha Brown that everybody knows, like tremendous. I mean, I feel like her results have inspired me. And so that is part of what someone would get being a part of this program. So let me show you some other things that we have to offer. So this will be a 6-week intensive that we have coming up. We have 3 going on this year. It includes 6 Saturdays in a row where we wake up early in the morning together and we spend the majority of the day together until the afternoon. In this, we will have guest presenters who will teach you the things that I just don't know yet. I'm not a master of. Now I know a whole lot. I read books for fun. I eat information. My friend always introduces me as the worm on the book because it's the truth. So you will get all of what I got floating around in this head that's compact down, synthesized down into some easy, palatable lessons, very small lessons. There'll be coaching, depending on what level of the program that someone decides to enroll in. And guess what? You get food coming to your door because we're going to eat together. It's important for us to fellowship, first of all, but secondly, that we are feeding our minds and our bodies the right type of foods to produce the life we desire. So the Paradigm Shifter is the top level program. That's where you get weekly coaching throughout the entire program. Also, you will have unlimited replays. You can come and retake the live classes. Like I said, we'll have 3 cohorts this year. And so if you go through this and you're like, man, I want to go through this again, I need to get a little bit more. You know, it's just like watching the same movie over and over. You get something a little more each time. Miss Marilyn J., unmute yourself really quick and tell me, what is it that you tell me about when we read the same book over and over?
I cannot take credit for the statement. And I believe it is Bob Proctor who I am quoting. But he says that each time you read a book over, it's not that you see something new in the information you read, but that you see something new within yourself.
I love that. And so we offer that to the person who decides they really want to be the paradigm shifter. And the reason we called it that is because the paradigm shifter, not only are you going to shift your own paradigm, completing this program, you will be out there creating I believe, a huge ripple or a wave of change around you, because people are going to wonder, what's going on with you? Why are you so happy? Why does it seem like everything is working out perfectly in your world? Because it is. And you can tell them why. You will also get an astrological diagnosis. So we have on staff a professional astrologer who gives you this chart thing that I know nothing about or don't understand, but she will literally give you this printout that tells you how you think, how you love, how you process information. It gives you so much, it's ridiculous. And you will actually get a one-on-one session with her for her to go through these things, for you to ask her some questions. She can even give you some dates to look at in the future to do certain things. She is the bomb. Let's just say that. She's only one of the bonuses though. We have a multitude of bonuses that are available for this person, and I can't even tell you all. It's a long list, okay? So how much does this cost? You're probably wondering, right? So the Paradigm Shifter program is valued over $3,500. But like we said, we're not trying to make money. We're trying to make a difference. That is the whole goal of this, is to make stuff affordable. You know, I attend all kind of conferences and stuff, and I've spent buku bucks on some stuff that didn't do anything for me. I felt like however I walked in, I walked out the same. That won't happen here. I tell you that, you will be transformed. So we also have a package A. I know you got that stimulus check. You can afford this. And in this, you will not get weekly coaching sessions, but you will get 3 coaching sessions. So one at the beginning, one towards the middle of your choice, and one at the end, so you can know what is your next step. In these coaching sessions, you will really unpack what is your life plan. You may have noticed on the first one of those first screens that we talked about a life plan. People write a business plan for their business, but do you have a plan for your life that is about the same? That is your roadmap, your evaluation tool of this is where I am, this is where I'm going, and I can read this and see where I am along the way. Because that's what my clients have. They have a life wheel, and we work through that wheel through the weeks and through the sessions. Now, I know some people are like, look, I'm not trying to meet with y'all. I understand. So we have something for you where you can do this program and you can do it at your own pace. You don't have to do the 6-week intensive, because that might not be for everybody. Everybody's not really ready to completely level up, but they are ready to start laying the foundation for change. And in the mindset training program, you just get the online courses and everything that is offered with that. The online courses, every day you'll have some little small mini lessons that start your day off in a certain way, with a start like a millionaire morning type of routine, because how you start the day determines how you finish the day. How you start the week determines how you finish the week. And we will go through all those different things.
Around, like a solid line, but it's like back here. Like,
we have somebody unmuted. Let's see here. All right, so let's talk about this. Let's talk about shifting your paradigm. Do you think shifting your paradigm is even possible? Do you think that wherever you are now that you can go up a level or 2 or 3 or 4? See, the thing is, you can change your life, and it doesn't have to take years. It doesn't have to take you a long time. It can happen fast if you are committed. It's one thing to make a decision. It's a whole nother thing to be committed to that decision, and to be consistently committed, to yourself. So I want to thank you all for joining us today. We are now going to open up the floor for some Q&A. If you have any comments, if there's anything that stuck out to you today that you just want to talk about, here is your opportunity. Raise your hand and we will unmute you, or you can unmute yourself, and let's talk. Let's chat. Let's see here.
And I know just about everyone here, you're not shy. None of you guys are shy.
So Miss Marilyn J., I want to ask you a few questions.
Yes, ma'am.
So we can give them some example of what this program can do for them.
Yes, dear.
Can you tell them where you were in life maybe about 2 years ago?
Woo! 2 years ago, where I was in life, I'll say mentally I was definitely in a challenging place. Professionally, I was in a challenging place. And even my stability and my well-being was in a challenging place. Over the course of the last couple of years, I have done a lot of internal work, and I have applied and implemented many of the things that we will be teaching and we will be sharing into my life. And today, my bank account got more money. My mind is clear. I do have a roadmap and a plan for my future. And I'm able to show up fully as myself, and be able again to pour out what I have within myself, to help others in their journey and their transition of shifting their paradigm, changing their mindset, and ultimately just living a better life.
Thank you so much for sharing. What would you say is the biggest difference visually to somebody looking at your life? What does that look like?
The biggest difference I would say is, well, for one, hey, I'm physically smaller, so that's a great thing. So through living a healthy lifestyle, y'all, I dropped about 15 pounds now. Okay, so that really, really feels good. So physically, I am definitely healthier. I am stronger and better. Again, I would say physically, if you look at me, people say, "Man, you look like you're glowing. You look so happy. You know, you look like you're just feeling good." And I absolutely am feeling good. And like I said, I think one of the biggest things for me, y'all, my bank account ain't had no money. No money. Let's get you. And who out there know about no money? Okay. and praise God, that's not the case. It got money. It has money coming in on a consistent basis. And we're definitely keeping the abundance and the currency flow coming in. And remember, you know, we talk about, a lot of people talk about money as a physical and tangible thing, but it's currency, and currency flows in and it flows out. So I've been able to allow that flow to happen in my life, which is definitely a wonderful feeling and a wonderful thing. And again, you know, you guys have the opportunity to do the same thing with what we have